faithfully sharing value, exploring great books from around the world. Hello, this is Sally's Book Talk. Today's book for you is The Communication Bible, covering listening, speaking, reading, and writing, all-round communication skills. The author is Nikki Stanton, an outstanding British consultant. Whether you're a student or a professional, communication is a daily necessity. However, great communication skills aren't something everyone has. You've probably faced various communication problems and frustrations. For example, in a meeting with a subordinate, you tactfully point out their many issues, but they still stick to their old ways. Or in a phone call, the other person rambles on and you still don't get their point, leaving both sides frustrated. Such communication dilemmas are countless. Almost everyone has felt the frustration from failed communication. So how can we communicate effectively? Today's Communication Bible will give you a set of simple and effective methods. This book is a classic in the communication field. Since publication, it's been reprinted 5 times and sold well worldwide for over 30 years. In the author's view, communication scenarios permeate all aspects of life and work. But on closer look, you'll find all communication boils down to 2 areas: oral communication, including listening and speaking, and written communication, including reading and writing. So, the path to better communication skills becomes clear. Master listening, speaking, reading, and writing to become an excellent communicator. Next, I'll first explain the primary principle of effective communication, then cover key techniques in listening, speaking, reading, and writing one by one. The primary principle of effective communication is think before you speak. No matter the form of communication, thinking through 6 key questions first to make success more likely and easier. First is the reason. Why are you having this communication? Different purposes mean different communication focuses. For example, calling a client to calm their dissatisfaction means understanding the problem's cause and collaborating on a solution.
If the goal is to secure the next phase of cooperation, focus on highlighting the benefits the other party cares about.
Second is the audience. Who are your listeners? What are their characteristics? Suppose you're giving a speech on time management to office workers. Your focus should be on efficiently arranging work. If the audience is students, the content should relate to academics. Third is time. Consider when the communication takes place to determine what to say. For example, your team is holding a project meeting. If it's the project's initial stage, focus on the project plan and staffing arrangements. If it's the mid-stage, discuss progress and any issues that have come up. Fourth is location. Suppose you're meeting with a partner. The location affects how you communicate. In an office, be more formal and get straight to the point after greeting. If it's a cafe, chat casually about life and interests to build rapport. Fifth is content. Clarify what you need to say and what the other party needs to know. For instance, if you're going to an interview, highlight your qualities and why you're a good fit for the role. And to prepare this in advance, ask friends who know you well to list your strengths and weaknesses, helping you see yourself more objectively. Sixth is method. Continuing with the interview example, what's the best way to present your traits? Actions speak louder than words. Use your experiences to prove it, focusing on key achievements and industry insights to present yourself convincingly. Oh, that's the primary principle of effective communication. Think before you speak. Before any communication, prepare by clarifying the purpose, audience, time, location, content, and method to make success more likely and easier. Next, we'll cover key techniques in listening, speaking, reading, and writing separately. And first, let's move to listening. Listening skills are often the most overlooked.
But research shows that white-collar workers spend 45% of communication time listening, making it the largest part of the 4. Listening requires truly hearing and understanding.
In reality, people often seem to listen but get distracted or want to interrupt with half-understood ideas, creating communication barriers. Conversely, if you're a good listener, you gain more useful information. At the same time, the other person will be more willing to listen to you, and mutual listening leads to more effective problem solving. In the book, the author provides specific techniques to improve listening, which I've summarized as 3 points. Use your brain, use your eyes, and use your hands. Let's go through them one by one. First, listen with your brain. It's not just passively receiving information, but actively thinking. When listening, strive to identify key points and find value. How can you spot the key points? You can pay attention to 2 types of words: summary words like therefore, so, finally, and transition words. For example, words like but, although, on the other hand, usually indicate that what follows is important. How can you find value? Focus on thinking about how the information relates to you. For instance, when listening to someone's work summary, think about what aspects relate to you and what insights you can gain from their experience. Once you find this relevance, you'll develop stronger interest in what they're saying, drawing you in to listen more attentively. The second listening technique is using your eyes. A person's gestures and facial expressions constantly convey information. Compared to words themselves, body language conveys more genuine meaning. Therefore, when listening, pay attention to observing the speaker. For example, if someone says welcome, but glances at the clock on the wall, they might not be available right now. For instance, the key isn't just what they say, but also observing how they say it with your eyes. The third listening technique is using your hands. Research shows that most people remember only 50% of the content after communication. After 3 days, only 10% is remembered. So take notes diligently after hearing important content. For example, when communicating with colleagues about work, remember to bring paper and pen to jot down key points anytime. If you're worried that note-taking distracts you, just jot down keywords and fill in the details afterward. Beyond these 3 daily listening techniques, there are special techniques in specific scenarios that also help with listening. One is preparing in advance. Before meetings, interviews, or lectures, do some preview to understand relevant background information so you're ready and get more out of listening. For example, if you're attending a lecture on new media value, look up the definition and development history of new media online beforehand. What are the mainstream new media platforms, etc.? Another listening technique is timely responses, which is especially suitable for phone communication, because on a phone call, the other person can't see you, so you don't know if they're listening. Therefore, it's crucial to respond promptly when the other person pauses briefly. For example, you can say, okay, or simply repeat their last few words. This makes them feel you're truly paying attention, so they'll continue confidently. All right, that covers how to listen. Effective listening requires using your brain, eyes, and hands, and advanced preparation is also vital for special communication scenarios. Next, let's discuss how to speak. The key is saying the right thing at the right time. Specifically, there are 5 key points. First is clear wording. Use plain language, avoid complex jargon. For instance, if you're a car salesperson and a customer asks about features, saying, "This car has DSG and TSI," sounds professional, but may confuse them about why to buy. Instead, say turbocharging boosts engine power while reducing fuel consumption through exhaust recycling. The customer then fully understands if this feature matters to them. Always use language your listener comprehends. The second point is accuracy. Ensure every statement is factual. Avoid overgeneralizing. Focus on observations, not subjective judgments. To emphasize document quality, instead of saying, "You're always careless with work," say, "This article has 25 typos." Let's avoid this issue moving forward. The third point is empathy. Put yourself in their shoes, acknowledge their feelings, like when an upset customer complains. If you immediately explain, they might not listen at all. Instead, say, "This situation has made you angry, and we're truly sorry." First, make customers feel understood to lower defensiveness. Only then can communication progress to solve problems. The fourth point is sincerity. Everyone prefers communicating with sincere people. Express thoughts and feelings authentically. No pretense or hiding. to truly enable effective communication. As the saying goes, no road leads to sincerity. Sincerity itself is the road. The fifth point is relaxation. Many people get nervous speaking publicly because they care too much about others' opinions. For this issue, prepare more thoroughly beforehand and consider the worst-case scenario to accept it calmly. Also, use deep breathing to find a relaxed state. Beyond these points, body language is crucial when speaking. Pay special attention to eye contact. Avoiding it may make others feel disliked or that you lack confidence in your words. Both hinder communication. So maintain eye contact to show respect. Voice matters too. Speak clearly. Adjust volume for the setting. Ensure everyone hears key points, and slightly slow your pace. Pause briefly before important points and vary your tone to sound enthusiastic. Good vocal control makes others believe you know your subject and listen more attentively. These are fundamental speaking skills for all communication scenarios. Beyond these, specific scenarios require additional targeted techniques. For phone calls, where expressions aren't visible, tone is vital. Smile to sound warm and slow your speech since lip movements can't be seen. In meetings, maintain positivity during tough discussions. Avoid blame, use constructive questions instead. For example, instead of, "Why didn't you know about this problem sooner?" ask, "How can we identify issues faster?" Or, "How might we encourage users to report problems proactively?" This guides everyone toward positive problem solving. All right, that covers speaking techniques. Aim for clear, objective language with empathy, making others feel understood through sincere, relaxed expression. Beyond the verbal communication skills of listening and speaking we've covered, daily communication also heavily relies on written forms like emails, project docs, meeting minutes, reports, and business documents. Emboss RDNE. Therefore, reading and writing skills are equally important. Now let's discuss reading techniques. Many people struggle with reading. The first struggle is slow reading speed. While others read 600 or even 1,000 words per minute, you might manage under 200. The second struggle is poor comprehension. Still feeling confused after reading? First, let's explore why reading speed might be slow. The first reason is recognition span. Reading involves constant eye movement and focus shifts. The number of words seen in each focus is called recognition span. Those with wide recognition spans see chunks of text at once, reading faster. But many read word by word, drastically slowing their pace. The second cause of slow reading is frequent regression. Reading word by word makes it hard to connect meanings, even when seeing every character. Forgetting earlier content leads to constant backtracking, further slowing reading. When reading pace lags behind brain processing speed, distraction easily follows. The third reason is subvocalization. Do you silently pronounce words while reading? Many develop this habit young, capping reading speed below 200 words per minute. So be mindful of this habit and consciously work to stop subvocalizing. What are effective methods to boost reading speed then? Expanding recognition span is key. It increases speed and improves overall comprehension. This also reduces regression. Training methods are simple, but require consistency. Use your finger to guide your eyes rhythmically down the text, gradually speeding up. This expands recognition span and accelerates reading. All tips. After covering reading speed, let's discuss improving reading effectiveness. Many people read like scanners, covering all content at the same speed from start to finish, which is actually inefficient. Not all content is equally important. You might waste time on trivial details. Additionally, this linear approach limits deep thinking, keeping comprehension superficial. Now let's explore a more effective reading method. The SQ3R method has 5 steps: survey, question, read, recall, review. First, survey. Skim the preface, table of contents, section headings, and conclusion to grasp the overall structure. The second step is question. Consider what each section aims to convey and what you already know about the topic. Asking questions actively engages your thinking, leading to deeper understanding. Third, read, building on your initial survey of content and structure. For each chapter, quickly survey first, then gradually deepen your reading. The fourth step is recall. After reading, try recalling the content, ideally paraphrasing it to test comprehension. This reveals whether you've truly understood the material. Fifth, review. Quickly revisit all previous steps to confirm full understanding and address unanswered questions. Crucially, survey and question aren't just initial steps. They should be used continuously throughout the reading process. Okay, that covers how to read effectively. Boost speed by expanding recognition span. Enhance comprehension with SQ3R. Finally, let's discuss writing, a purpose-driven process that starts broad, then narrows focus. Take report writing. The most crucial first step is clarifying the report's purpose. For example, if your boss asks for a product sales report, the purpose might be to predict future sales trends or identify reasons for recent sales declines. The report's focus would be completely different for these two purposes. After clarifying the purpose, enter the divergence phase, collecting information from various sources to gather as much relevant data as possible. Primary data can be obtained through interviews or phone calls, while secondary sources come from online research. After broadly gathering information, you enter the convergence phase. In this phase, analyze, categorize, and synthesize the collected information.
This requires deep thinking. Use mind maps or topic cards to logically organize content into an outline.
With the outline ready, begin drafting. When drafting, prioritize speed. Many get bogged down by wording and formatting, making writing painful and inefficient, leading to burnout and procrastination. Avoid perfectionism here. Quickly write the full first draft regardless of quality, then move to editing.
In editing, ensure sections align with the goal. Maintain clear structure with balanced paragraphs and use concise, fluent language.
Finally, have a senior colleague review it for constructive feedback. Through these steps, the report gradually takes shape and becomes ready. You'll find that breaking large writing tasks into focused steps makes them manageable. Beyond reports, another common writing scenario is email communication. The book outlines key techniques and considerations for this. We receive many work emails. Pressed for time, people often prioritize based on subject line importance. To ensure your email gets attention, summarize key points in the subject line. Make it substantive. For a project update email, compare recent project progress summary versus key module delay - additional staff required. The latter makes recipients want to open it immediately. Besides highlighting key points in subject lines, email etiquette includes: when emailing groups, create a contact group instead of showing long recipient lists. Second, when replying, edit the original content by removing irrelevant parts. Third, use emojis cautiously. They can make work emails appear unprofessional. That concludes the core content of this book. Let's briefly recap. The primary principle of effective communication is thinking before speaking. Before any communication, clarify 6 key aspects: purpose, audience, timing, location, content, and method. Communication encompasses 4 dimensions. First is listening. Key techniques involve thinking with your brain, observing with your eyes, and recording with your hands. Additionally, previewing before meetings and lectures and giving brief responses during calls enhances effectiveness. The second dimension is speaking. Use clear language, objective accuracy, and empathy to make others feel understood, expressed sincerely and relaxed. Also pay attention to body language. Maintain eye contact and control your voice. The third dimension is reading. Improve recognition span through finger guiding exercises, reducing regression while increasing speed. Also, try the SQ3R method to enhance reading comprehension. The fourth dimension is writing. Start from purpose, gather information broadly, then synthesize systematically. Draft quickly first, then refine through editing. When applying proper methods across listening, speaking, reading, and writing, you'll experience communication's transformative power. Well, as the author states, everything we do is communication. Master communication and you master life. Great communication This concludes our discussion of the Communication Bible. Study notes are below the audio. Until next time.